And this is the point I was going to make. I find that is a lot more prevalent in lower class communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot.
I grew up in the suburbs from like 5 to like whatever, right? But before that, I didn't realize at the time I was a kid, but like we lived like in the hood. Like we had a house, but it was like in a hood area. I realized as I got older, I'm like, oh shit. But you know what I mean? Like I always thought my uncle, Art, I thought he was my real uncle. He was our black next door neighbor.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was with him every day and stuff. I always called him Uncle Art. And I remember the day my parents told me he was not my uncle when I was 3.5.
Broke your heart.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? You know what I mean? Because once again, it's just like what I was saying earlier, but everything is influenced and everything is only the way you know.
Especially once you put somebody on uncle status.
Yeah.
Like I have cousins. Well, they're my cousin's kids.
Yeah.
And they called me uncle at one point.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to correct them. I'm like, I'm not your uncle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm your cousin. I'm your second
It's like
cousin.
a simplified way of like being like, this is family.
Yeah, but it's like, you gotta get it right. And even my niece, she thought I was her cousin at one point.
Well,
I'm not your cousin. I'm your uncle. It's a different authority right now.
Yeah.
That's why I really like Filipino culture.
Everybody's her cousin.
No, it's you know, if it's your older male friend or cousin or whatever, you call him kuya.
Yeah.
If it's your older sister, you call him ate. And if it's your older, your older uncle, you call him, Tito or Tita, right?
Yeah.
But you refer to everybody as either like kuya, ate, Tita, Tito, if they're older than you, as a sign of respect. That's a very big thing in like Asian culture.
Like Ian's nephew.
Right.
If I'm at Ian's crib.
They call him Tito.
No, they call me
Tito.
That's Uncle Mike. That's Tito.
Tito Mike. Tito Mike. Yeah.
And I'm not blood family, but that's how they deal with it.
That's what they call it. And if you were just, let's say, an older family friend, they'd have to call you Kuya, which means older brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just a sign of absolute respect.
And the point I was getting to, though, about, I was just saying, like, I think there's a lot more of that unity, that compassion, that caring for one another. Like, there's no father at this house, like I could take, you know what I mean? Maybe like, let's go play ball. Like once we, like that kind of stuff happens, I feel like more in the lower class neighborhoods opposed to, once I got to the suburbs, ain't no neighbors give a fuck what the fuck was going on. You know what I mean? My parents could have been fucking beating the shit out of me and raping me. My neighbors wouldn't have known shit. If that happened back on Alice Street, that wouldn't have happened. The whole block was friends, you know what I mean? Like the whole block used to get together and hang out, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
the thing. That's how I grew up. It was beautiful, man.
Yeah,
I was talking to my father the other day, and I'm like, I'm not that I'm glad they separated, but I'm like, yo, if you didn't separate and mom didn't come back to Turono, all the experience that I had, I wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
Like,
why? Where's your dad live?
He's in Alberta.
Oh shit! Hey, so you lived out on the
for a little bit.
Holy shit!
A little bit. I was born here, moved out there, came back.
Oh man!
And then everyone from the neighborhood, like we lived in between two buildings.
Yeah.
And there's a driveway in between. Almost not every day, but usually on the weekend, all the parents, all the kids are out there.
Yeah.
And everyone's looking out for each other.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
And this is why the urban community is the tastemakers.
Yeah. Everyone
in my opinion.
Yeah. Because
they're the groups of people who get to get, like, we did the same thing in my neighborhood, but it was a little mix and it was like a street, you know what I mean? But still kind of lower class and fucking, we all, we'd always get together. But you got to take it, that's a street with, 20 houses, a family in each. You go to, a lower class neighborhood, like where it's like project buildings and shit.
Yeah.
You got thousands of people in those joints, you know what I mean? So people are coming out and people are connecting, like, that's culture right there. Like that is literally culture.
Absolutely, man. I think like some of the misconception is that like, when you grow up in the hood, that it's all bad and it's all bad all the time. And it's not all bad and it's not all bad all the time. It's very communal, you know what I mean, for one. And, like, for two, this is why I don't get on these younger dudes who do mumble rap or party hip-hop, this, that, or the other. When you live, a certain way, you don't want to be reminded of that 24/7, whether it's through the music or anything. You want to escape that. So a lot of art that we see, we created it. Your generation created it. Your generation created it. Some of these dudes are just creating escapism art.
Yeah.
Escapism. You could rail on how bad the system is, but sometimes people are like, yo, fuck that. I just want to fucking smoke. I just want to drink. I just want to have a good time.
It's almost like you already know how bad the system is so much that it's like you do anything, try to forget it.
Yeah. So
it's like my homie who passed away, you know what I mean? It's
But
like every day, I think about it, and then I do anything I can to almost not think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
straight up.
It's one of those things.
That's hard, bro.
You know what? And actually, now that you say that, that's like, word.
Yeah, man, escapism is real. It's a real thing. You know what I
It
mean?
is a
Like
real
that's
thing.
it's a form of art, and
It goes back to bread and circuses.
absolutely.
But
right?
that's like, no, that's deep.
Everything the bread is circus.
Because you know what? And myself, you know, being someone who grew up basically in the suburbs my whole life, that's the one thing that attracted me to hip hop was the struggle. Because there was no other music I could really listen to that really explained the struggle of life. You know what I mean? And then the struggle that some of these, you know, poets are describing and stuff. You're like, yo, like there's places like this in the Western world. You know what I mean? Like this, like what? Like this sounds like it's a war zone and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, you know, and just like.
Let me try something real quick.
Just like that's the kind of thing that attracted me to hip hop. So I mean, at the same time, and that's the funny thing. I think if you look at it, when you see the divide of the people who hate the new school to the people who don't, that are old heads, a lot of them are white suburban people
that hate the new school.
Yeah,
It
is. It's the people who like Tech Nine and fucking. You know what I mean?
I think it's more of a style of music as opposed to.
I think it's
understanding why those guys made that type of music.
I think
because if you like underground rap, you're not gonna like Migos.
Yeah,
but if you understand why Migos makes that type of music because of where they're from,
exactly.
Well, that's the thing. And people, when people
right?
come from a certain culture, you understand it. Even if it's not what it once was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You understand it.
Yeah.
As to where other people, outsiders, aren't looking in, which unfortunately for the last, 10, 15, 20 years, hip-hop has been majority fucking...
like club shit, commercialized.
But it's been majority... the majority audience has been like suburban white kids.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Or really the funding.
Well, that's the buying audience.
Yeah.
That's the audience
that's what I'm saying, but they're funding it.
Yeah.
Funding it, right?
They've always been the ones spending.
So that's why they like to see a certain thing. And that's why, like, you know, and that's why I think a lot of people, you know, who were like me coming up, you know, who looked at hip hop as this like raw, poetic expression, rugged, you know, your beats were literally stolen music. Like that's how anti-authorital your music was, that you stole people's music to create your own. Like, I don't give a fuck, sorry punk rockers, but that is the most revolutionary form of music to ever fucking exist.
But even punk was revolutionary.
It was, but I'm saying
it got co-opted.
It's not as revolutionary as that.
Yeah, it got co-opted.
I'm gonna steal your drums, motherfucker. I'm gonna steal your bass line. I'm gonna steal your guitar. Nothing gets more fucking anti-establishment.
And honestly, I don't even call it theft. It's more like that's
it's
what they
sampling.
That's what they grew up listening to.
Yeah, and it's sampling.
And it's like.
I don't call sampling theft. I'm not one of those dudes.
Of course.
But I just I'm saying on the outside looking in, right? Like it's just there's
of
nothing
guys,
rawer than hip hop in its truest form.
A lot of those guys grew up.
Exactly where
they literally grew up listening to that music because of their parents. Because they were born in '75. They were born in.
And now all these suburban kids love Funkadelic and fucking. Or suburban hipsters or fucking whatever. Suburban kids in their 20s. You know what I mean?
I ain't never met no suburban kids in their 20s who like fucking Funkadelic.
That's how long
the fuck.
Why do you think all these record stores are popping up all over the place?
You know what that
man,
is?
If a kid likes Lupe,
records
if a kid likes
money
Lupe
right now.
Fiasco, I bet you he listened to fucking Funkadelic.
Yeah.
They might listen to like some EDM.
No, bro.
Funkadelic.
Like, there's a reason why all these used record shops are popping up.
No, I feel you.
Like, they're not popping up.
Do you know what the other funny thing is, though? Because I'm on a borderline. Because I do understand the new school, and I understand why it goes a certain way. And when you made that point, you drilled it home, because it really made me, like, look at it another way and be like, fuck, I understand it even more.
Yeah.
But I'm also one of those fucking white suburban kids where I'm like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Who's the hottest rapper out now? Like, who's spitting the best? Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole,
Kendrick, like,
on the mainstream level, yeah.
Kendrick ain't even as nice as I Gave You Power by Nas. You know what
it
I mean?
is. Just straight up, facts.
Woo!
His whole catalog.
This guy said Kendrick ain't even as hot as I Gave You Power.
Is Kendrick better than Nas?
No.
Okay, then that's all we got.
But
this is what I'm saying.
Hold on. Let me say this. Just to compare Kendrick to Nas, Kendrick might be like one of the closest things to Nas, but he's kind of like, he's a hybrid of a Nas and a
nights and bloody days. They grab me and bullet spray. They use me wrong, so I sing the song to this day. My body is cold still for real. I was made to kill. That's why they keep me concealed under car seats. They sneak me in clubs, been in the hands of mad thugs. They feed me when they load me with mad slugs. 17 precisely, one in my hand. They call me Desert Eagle. Send me order with lead. I'm 7 inches, 4 pounds. Been through so many towns. Bronx, Ohio to Little Rock to Canarsie, living harshly, beat up and battered. They pull me out, I watch this what scatter, making me kill for what I feel ain't never mattered. When I'm empty, I'm quiet, finding myself fiending to be fired. A broken safety, keep me on shelves, under bed, so I beg for my next donor to be a thoroughbred.
Kendrick don't even rap like that.
Heads. How you like me now? I go blow, it's the shit that move crowds, making every ghetto foul. I might have killed your first child, scarred your life, crippled your style. I gave you power, I made you buck wild. Yo, always I'm in some shit.
Okay, stop. Sorry, Kendrick.
Fuck.
Sorry, Cole.
Does J. Cole,
Not
any
even.
of them?
Not even.
I feel you though.
Not even.
And that's not even Nas's most lyrical.
Nah.
Ooh.
Not even Jake and Dr. Nas when it comes to that shit.
Not even.
Nobody. Are we gonna give Nas the greatest of all time?
I do.
Straight up and
I
down.
do every day of my life.
You know what?
I do without hesitation.
Straight up and
every
down.
single fucking
Straight up and
day of
down.
my
I
life.
love Hov. Like that's the thing. It depends what mood you
Hov
catch
is
me
the
in.
best
Yeah,
rapper,
but
and Nas is the best MC. And but what I mean by rapper is Hov ain't trying to fucking
No. Hov knows what he's
sometimes
doing.
Hov-
Exactly. Hov's a businessman.
But sometimes Hov is a better technical MC than Nas. Like
Yeah.
fucking, I throw hands on you. They build a hole in the desert. We put the sand on you. Lay out blueprint plans on you. We rap pack niggas. Let Sam tap dance.
Don't tell.
Shot you,
But
goddamn
you
you.
see,
I
the
put the
thing
boy
is
in the
this,
box.
though.
I gave the
But
brain as the
though.
audience
But the
watch
thing
it
is,
ain't a
though,
thing.
He's not trying to do that on every song.
but
He's
what
trying
I'm
to
saying-
do the
Wish I
hot
was
thing.
frontin'. I George Bush the button for the oil in your car. Lift up your hood. Run it, then lift up your whole hood like you got oil under it. Your boy got the goods, you don't
Stop
want nothing
this,
of
stop
it.
this,
Like,
stop
cast
this.
the oil, I
Stop
cast
this,
destroy
stop
you.
this, stop
Change your
this,
face
stop
to the
this.
fullest shit.
Rah, rah, rah.
Come on.
This guy is
Man, come on. Like Nas I never really hear Nas
No.
get that
No,
punchline-y
no.
metaphorical though.
No, but you're saying punchline. But
They're
you
two
know
different
what?
artists.
The
Just
thing
two
is,
levels of
this is
lyricism.
the thing,
No, two
right?
different styles of
Nas
artists,
is the
man.
poet.
Yeah.
Poet or
As is
not,
Kendrick,
every
as
rapper is a
Kendrick.
fucking poet. Let's stop this nonsense about.
Absolutely.
He's a poet. And he's no.
Absolutely.
Every rapper
Absolutely.
does poetry.
Yeah, Lil Pump ain't a poet.
It doesn't matter. Every rapper does poetry.
Absolutely.
I'll give Lil
Rap
Pump
is
a,
poetry.
I'll give Lil Pump a haiku.
But
before
anyway,
a
it don't
poet.
matter. Rap is poetry.
Alright, so what I'll say is
we're
this.
not separating people.
Can
because
I
they're motherfucking
interject
poet.
real
Alright,
motherfucking
alright.
quick?
Stop this nonsense.
Let me interject real quick.
All right.
Let me interject real quick, alright?
what-
Nas technically is a better rapper than Kendrick. Kendrick, if they were like jazz, Nas is like straight up like the mastery of jazz, and Kendrick is like this new dude who's doing this super unorthodox shit. And you're like, yo, what the fuck?
Like the abstract
He's creating
jazz.
patterns and things that
Like
that,
Herbie Hancock when he did Rocket.
Right.
choice.
So Kendrick is dope. Kendrick is dope on his own level, and I don't necessarily like comparing the two because, like, yo, Nas has a certain amount of knowledge that people lack. He's a poet laureate. You know what I mean? If there was one lyricist that I could compare to Nas, and this might sound crazy, but you can go and study his lyrics and study who the fuck his father is, and you might be like, oh shit, Earl Sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Earl
Sweatshirt's
Sweatshirt
good.
might be like one of the few dudes who, with his pen, has potential to be just as nice as Nas.
I would say
but what
One
I'm saying
Below.
with Kendrick though,
One
what I'm saying
Below
with Kendrick
from
though,
Binary Star.
is different. You know, so he came up in Cali in a different era. He didn't come up in New York, so he's gonna have different things to reference. You can tell he's
The
studying
different
Nas,
reference? Yeah.
but he's more. You
Oh,
see,
who, Earl?
no, both. But
Yeah.
but Kendrick, he has the more like that funk influence, that Dr. Dre influence, as opposed to like that. You know, that New York gritty blues influence. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but that's
So-
more like post.
It's evolution,
That's
man.
more
It's-
post mainstream career as well. Like Kendrick's early stuff was almost more reminiscent on boom bap than it was like the funk Dre sound.
Yeah.
Like listen to Section 80 and shit. You know, like you got like straight horn samples on there and shit like that. Like you know, even the J. Cole joint.
Well, that's just because, you know what I'm saying,
High
like
Power.
he's got to create that persona. He's got to create that foundation.
Well,
He can't
like,
take those.
Kendrick's dope. Like don't get me wrong.
Kendrick's
but,
the
like,
nicest.
You know, if Nas did High Power first and then Kendrick did High Power first,
Yeah.
but we're talking like same age.
Yeah.
Them at the same age. Because Nas now is an older dude who, you know, has $1 billion investments and shit. You're
Yeah.
not gonna rap like when you talk about Judy's ass, I got hype. I was like, yo, Judy's ass was enormous. Judy's ass was enormous. Yo, you're looking out that Queensbridge window
bringing
again,
that
aren't
fucking
you?
shit
You're
up
looking
again,
out that
man.
window again, aren't you? You're just a chip 2 smile right now, seeing Judy's ass was enormous. All right, cool. I got you, fam. I got you.
I got to stroll.
I remember a few enormous asses.
Judy is,
Yo, I got to give a happy birthday to my girl Lindsay. by the way.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Lindsay.
Another
At midnight, it's her birthday. I told her I'd give her a shout out. She was drunk when she called me. She probably isn't even awake watching this anymore. But if she is, happy birthday. I promised her I'd give her that before I forget. But yo, Nas.
You gotta tell her to put on the fucking Jeremiah birthday sex, homie. What are you doing?
Nah, bro. No, if we're playing Jeremiah.
Hey, Jeremiah
we're playing
birthday sex.
Suck me to sleep.
I like Jeremiah, yo.
I thought she had it in.
Hey.
Suck me to sleep.
Oh shit. Yo, can we talk about how dope Jeremiah actually is, and he didn't get he didn't blow up the way he deserved
if
at
you
all.
make a song called SMTS, and then when you listen to the song, you realize the acronym is "Suck Me to Sleep." You are hands down the greatest R&B artist of the generation.
That dude was fucking sick.
And the Joe Budden podcast was hating on that song. I'm like, yo, y'all bugging. This song's fire. And then I played it for Eddie G from the No Condom podcast, and he was like, this is fucking trash. And I'm like, you're whack too.
Shout out Eddie G.
I don't know
man.
anything better in this world than getting sucked to sleep. Someone made a song about getting sucked to sleep? Like, yo, fam, you must be getting sucked to sleep a lot. Like, you woke up in the studio blown, you're like, oh shit, I got sucked to sleep. You're like, oh, let me just make a little
I don't know if I've ever been
song about this.
Sucked to sleep. I've been sucked out of my sleep. I've never been
getting sucked out of your sleep is better than getting
it's
sucked.
It's a very interesting, very interesting thing, because you're just kind of there and you're in your dream and you're like, yeah, all right,
that's fire.
And all
especially
of a sudden,
if you already got the morning wood, and then your dream transforms into the blowjob you're getting, and you're like, yo.
But the whole joke is when you realize when you're waking up and you realize and you're like, yo, do I play this off? You know what I'm saying? So you play
never think you're still asleep.
And then all of a sudden you hear, I know you're not sleeping.
You're still trying to play it off like you're asleep. Yo,
yeah, but that's life, man.
I'm a bad fake sleeper because I try so hard to be a good one that it's just obvious.
Or you got a big smile on your face or something.
I'm just making heavy breathing noises or some shit. You know what I mean? It's you don't sleep like that. What you doing?
Oh man, fuck.
Pretending. Suck me to sleep.
Oh my god.
That's what's up. Like I said, I've never been sucked to sleep. It's got to be boring headed.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Is to get sucked to sleep, you got to be getting so much head that it's actually putting you to bed.
Right?
That's why that song is so fire.
He's on the song too. Put me to bed.
I don't know, but people
Doesn't
just
that sound like that too.
That's the problem with fucking this society right now. You know what I mean?
Then I get it.
And progressive thinkers can't even read between the lines. You hear something like "suck me to sleep," you're like, swag. Nah, that's sick. That means you're getting so much head that it's putting you to sleep. You're like, fuck it.
Crazy,
it's like a blunt. This ain't nothing. Take it.
I'm gonna fall asleep off of this.
If I'm snoring when I nut, whatever.
I'm gonna fall asleep off of this one.
Just don't pop it in you.
That's crazy.
You gotta be getting mad head to not be cautious of where that nut goes.
Oh my god.
You're like, I'm just pass out while you suck my dick,
Or you got a lot of money. Yeah. One of the fucking two, man.
Have a baby by me, baby.
Shit. Here we go. Speaking of some crazy shit.
You know how 50 has a bad relationship with his sons?
Right.
Do you think they would feel like 50 secretly on the low?
Wow. Oh, man.
You talking that shit, bro. I don't know. You have to ask Marquez, man. See
Is that too rude?
I don't know.
Is it too soon?
Might be. Might be a little too early. Ask Marquez, man. Hit him up on IG.
You might be able to get at him. He ain't that famous. He's famous because of 50. Famous because of 50.
He's unfamous enough that he would respond to
this.
Yeah,
he probably would. Probably would.
Well, Marcus or whatever your name is.
I was going to say, so-and-so, but I ain't going to mention
feel like 50,
because I don't want to get punched in the face.
If you want to feel like 50, you know what I mean? You can get down with the movement, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to fix the view on this guy. It's so fucking awkward.
What, is it moving on its own?
No, I was moving. This is a little slightly
time delayed. Okay.
Slightly time delayed. I'm trying, we ain't really got a
like
lot of views here. I'm trying to figure out if people are liking the new, the new technology and whatnot.
Whatever, it's the first.
Speaking of crazy shit, though, what I was going to say before you cut me off is, seeing a lot of people on my Facebook timeline are pissed off that an Amber Alert wasn't sent out for those 4 kids. But, my whole thing is, people, you got to understand, Amber Alerts, you can't just send out an Amber Alert. You know what I mean? Amber Alert can only really be sent out when people are abducted.
Yeah.
No. When they're abducted, they've been abducted. They're in imminent danger. And you have a description of who abducted them or what their vehicle looks like. Without any type of suspect, you can't really just say, okay, issue an Amber Alert because it doesn't serve the public any type of good or anything. You know what I mean? So
Wait, you
that's
saying
just
an Amber
shit.
Alert doesn't serve the public any good?
No, I'm saying issuing an Amber Alert when you don't have a description of who took the actual people being abducted.
Yeah. Didn't we already talk about this?
No,
No,
what happened was yesterday.
the other day.
Four
Sunday or
black
something.
kids were missing yesterday. They were eventually found.
Yeah.
So
They went to the movies at like 11:30.
Yeah.
They didn't come home.
Now, why are little kids at that
At the movies
age?
at 11:30? Yeah, they're
Number
like
one.
12 and 13. But
So
who the
number
fuck
one,
knows?
number two is
Alright, but all I'm saying, if you're gonna blame the parents and keep that same energy.
But no, the thing is that people are like, why wasn't there an Amber
Michael
Alert?
Jackson,
Why
R.
wasn't
Kelly.
there? Yes, of course. But
Alright.
the people are saying, why wasn't there an Amber Alert? Well, there wasn't because they weren't abducted.
Right.
They didn't have a description of the person. And they were found after the fact.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are you worried about?
No, they were absolutely found. You know what I mean?
And they're all
this is
fine?
yeah, they're all
Yeah.
fine. So this thing too, like, and this is when I knew, like, when I kind of heard the story, like, I don't think anything really happened to them. Is when have you ever heard of 4 kids, let alone 4, black kids, inner city urban black kids getting abducted? Who the fuck has the power just to be like, hey, you 4 kids, I'm gonna fucking?
No,
wake
I'm
you
pretty
up
sure
and
one of
fucking-"
them kids is like, nah,
Mhm.
fool. This ain't happening.
Exactly right.
We
They're
about-
all gonna
it's
throw
about to go down.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
yelling.
that's the
Stranger
one thing
danger,
I think
I'm
is
bottling
nuts.
you. Like,
how
it's
like
not
older
happening,
people
man.
think little kids are these weak little impressionable things.
No, once
Anyone who's over 13, like, yo, if
Yeah,
3
it's not
13-year-olds
happening.
come up to me on the street and they're like, yo, you pussy ass white boy,
run that
motherfucker,
shit.
hey cracker, run me your chain. I'll be like, all right, little man, you're my train. I ain't
You're
fucking
running that shit, eh?
I ain't funning fighting. 13-year-olds ain't got shit to
Let me
lose,
tell you
fam.
a fucking story, man.
I have more violently abused people in the
Yeah.
ages of 12 to 14,
Let me tell
maybe
you a fucking
15,
story.
than any other period of my life.
Let me tell you a story.
I ain't playing with youth.
I was 19.
Bobby Schmurda's still in prison.
I was 19.
I ain't playing with
check this
you.
out, check this out. I was 19, right? And my boy, every Thursday, he'd have these nights where, like, we go to his garage and we'd all just, like, smoke the most weed and just whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm coming home back to my... He lived, like, a 5-10 minute walk from where I live back in Malvern. So I'm coming home and I see a group of, like, 5 or 6 little 13, 14-year-olds coming towards me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head, like, fuck, it's about to go down. Because they're just... The way they're just walking towards me is like they wanted that smoke. And there was this one little tiny one, like, really short. And he just comes walking up to me. He's like, yo, excuse me, you smoke?
I was gonna say, he probably asked you for a smoke.
No.
A lot of times, that's all they
They
want.
weren't even asking me for a smoke. I'm like, yo, not really. But one of them was like, yeah, he smokes. I could tell. So I'm like, oh shit. I don't smoke cigarettes or whatever, right? So yo, they looked at me and they're like, yo, how do we get out of this? And then in my head, I'm like, I realized what happened. I was thinking like, yo,
They
I
got
gotta
high?
fucking
And they're
they got high
tripping?
for the first time. Balls, bro. So I'm like, oh shit. Yo, the one kid reached up and touched my face. He's like, yo, how do I get out of this?
You're probably so happy to be able to help them. You're like,
Oh,
yo, come here,
shit.
little man.
I was just like, man, listen,
You can't look at them as even though they could be a
Yeah.
potential being the evil.
No, I had first said I was like, okay, it might go down, but like as soon as they said that, I was
I
like,
always
and they told
remember
me,
when you were a kid.
Yeah.
If you can't remember when you were a kid,
Right.
then you can't relate.
Well,
to
that's
kids.
how I look at every
Yeah.
kid. I look at it like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I know when
I'll
I was
still
13,
fucking kick
14,
myself when I think
I was
about it, though.
really high on
Shit.
weed, maybe a little drunk,
Yeah.
and I was scared of anyone